Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Glue Glue podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Quinn. And Bruce joins me here today to discuss a scintillating display by Manchester United against Arsenal, the league leaders at Old Trafford, winning by 3 goals to 1. That's United's fourth win in a row. And once again, the mighty Gunners crumble whenever they play a big team away from home after all those victories against Bournemouth and Fulham and Leicester and Villa. They're brought crashing back down to earth. So, what was your thoughts on the game today, Brush?
Absolutely elated, Kyle. I'll tell you what was nice. Um, as much as I expected us to actually go and beat them, I didn't think we'd do it by that scoreline. Obviously, we spoke previously about our issues up top and it not really functioning the way it should. So I wasn't convinced that we could score multiple goals. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, that game today reminded me of a Jose Mourinho quote where he said, "You can have the ball and we'll take the points," because Arsenal had 61% possession and dominated large spells, but didn't really take their chances. And
No, they didn't at all.
United were ruthless, particularly on the counter attack, and that's what won us the game. I was also really impressed with Ten Hag's substitutions when we went 2-1 up immediately. He went to a more solid approach, and Arsenal really couldn't break us down. And we got the third goal, and then Arsenal really lost belief after that, and the game was over, really, wasn't it?
Yep, yep, pretty much. I think, like you, I was a bit surprised when I saw the team sheet as well. I mean, I was expecting it to be pretty close to how it was before, actually. I didn't think he would change too much. But then the one change I did expect was perhaps Casemiro coming in. But it was the opposite. What we saw was Antony being thrown into the deep end, which I was a little surprised by. I thought for sure he would start on the bench. But in retrospect, thinking about it, it kind of makes sense because he is a player that Eric knows very well and is another body that would help him streamline what it is that he's trying to do.
Yeah, definitely. And the form of Alanga hasn't been great, so it was probably an easy decision to throw Anthony Stewart in, and it
Oh,
worked.
absolutely. Yeah. And we saw the difference. It was night and day, wasn't it? Even in the 57 minutes or so that we saw Anthony. Yeah, he just provides so much more. The highlight for me was, when that ball went near the corner flag and the little flick out to Dallo, who put in a brilliant cross. If that was Elanga, that doesn't happen.
No, definitely not. Yeah, lovely bit of improvisation there from Antony. I have to say, Dallow's been the surprise of the season so far. I think he's
Yeah.
probably been United's most improved player. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think the majority of the fan base writ him off. I'm certainly among them. I didn't think there was much we could do with him, and even now, to a certain degree, I feel like he's a stopgap until somebody else comes in. But yeah, if he keeps playing like this, listen, we're going to be discussing backup options instead of replacements.
Yeah, I think so. And the back four just picked itself, like I said, a couple of
Yeah,
days ago.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's why I was quite happy that it was quite settled. Obviously the Casemiro thing. I mean, I'm quite happy for Ten Hag to just take his time and do what he feels is right. As long as we're winning, I don't think you can really criticize it.
yeah, every decision Ten Hag is making turns out to be the right one. Even
Mm,
not starting Casemiro is one thing, but he brought on Fred before Casemiro, and obviously that raised a few eyebrows. But again, it worked. I mean, there's even an example where Fred his pressing won the ball back high up the pitch, where I think Ramsdale played it out to one of his teammates, and Fred took it off the toes of an Arsenal player and nearly resulted in another goal for us. So
hmm
yeah, I thought Fred's cameo was really good today as well. So um, it is strange that Casemiro has been left with just kind of 20-minute or 15-minute appearances. But yeah, as long as we're winning, you can't really complain, can you?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. The two high players that really stood out to me as well. Ericsson, what a performance! Very classy from Ericsson, and Rashford, who we've both been very critical of, and he turned up today.
Yeah, Ericsson was given man of the match by Gary Neville. Yeah, as good as he was, you have to say if you get 2 goals and an assist, you'd be feel pretty aggrieved if you weren't given man of the match. Yeah, so you know, is Rashford proving his doubters wrong here? Is there a possibility now that he could get 20 Premier League goals this season? So all of a sudden, it's looking like more of a
Mm.
possibility than it was, maybe a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think he's the solution up front. I don't think he possesses those qualities to play up front for us. But uh, Ten Hag certainly has faith in him, and also it's about the system more than anything else. And we've seen flashes today of what he can provide when used correctly. Um, Obviously, the pace as well we have to utilize. Um, yeah, I see a scenario in which we might see him more, but out left. I have a feeling that if Martial's fully fit, then he comes in, and perhaps it'll be Sancho that drops out.
Yeah. I had a, I had a feeling that for at least for portions of this game, we were going to play on the counter attack,
Mm.
and that would mean that Rashford was a certainty to start. And again, it was another classic Rashford counter attack goal for the second
Yeah,
one. What a lovely pass from Bruno Fernandes with the outside of the right foot as
yeah,
well.
absolutely. But yeah, this is the thing. So in order to get the best out of Rashford, there's a certain way we need to play. So you have to play to his strengths, or otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's not really much of a target man, and
Nope.
he brought Ronaldo on then when he wanted a target man.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ronaldo was very frustrated, wasn't he? He was desperate to get on the score sheet. I think he
Yeah,
even
he was. Oh, do you know what? There was Fred did the hard part in keeping the ball in, but then the final ball to Ronaldo, it was just it was misplaced, wasn't it? Had that been a perfectly weighted pass, I think that would have just topped off today.
yeah,
If
I
Ron
think
could have
even
got himself on the score sheet, he would have loved
yeah, I think he even kicked a microphone at one point. He was so
that.
pissed off.
Well,
uh,
I certainly expect him to start against Sociedad, so hopefully he'll get his chance to shine on Thursday.
yeah, and I like the way that he was celebrating Antony's goal when he was sitting on the bench, and he wasn't
Yeah.
moping about the fact that he wasn't starting. Yeah,
Hmm.
so like you said, he's decided to. He predicted that he would knuckle down, and
Yeah.
and that's what's happening really. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I think there's no other option now, is there, Carl? And also, I think some of it as well. I do think it's media hype and scrutiny as well. Like because of his reactions and whatnot. I do think he's more professional than a lot of people think. I know we concentrate on the numbers and the selfishness, but I do think he is a team player as well when he wants to be.
Yeah, there's no point in just moping around for 9 months and
Mm.
looking forward to the next season. A player like him, we want to make the best of potentially his last big season at the top level. He want to
Yeah,
believe that he can win trophies this season with
yeah,
United.
absolutely. And I think what works in our favor as well is the fact that there is a World Cup looming, so he'll want to keep himself fit for that.
He will indeed. Yeah, for, yeah. I would have liked to see him get on the score sheet.
Yeah,
Even
it
though
would have been
kind of
nice.
even though kind of fell out with him a wee bit this summer, but I'm sure we'll
Mm.
get over that in time. Football is so fickle. As soon as Ronaldo scores a couple of goals, it'll be forgotten about.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So yeah, Christian Eriksen, like you said,
Yeah,
absolutely
brilliant,
fantastic today. He ran the show
brilliant.
really.
Yeah,
Um,
I just wish he was 5 years younger and had no health issues.
yeah, but he's played 3 games in a week now. We didn't really think that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I didn't think that was possible. That was what my one concern. Actually, it is an ongoing concern. I have to say that our reliance on him. I don't know if he can keep up with it. I think we're gonna have to manage it at some point. Obviously, with how the team are playing now, I understand that it's very difficult to make changes. So I fully expect the changes to come in the Europa League. So yeah,
Yeah, I would anticipate that Casemiro and Fred will start in the center of the pitch against Real Sociedad.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and yeah, it's a good opportunity to give Eriksen a rest after
mm,
playing 3 games in 7 days. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so he was man of the match.
He deserves it as well. I'll tell you what, underrated. He's probably one of the signings of the season.
Yeah, because today, and we got 1 assist today, but
Mm,
a lot of the goals we've been scoring recently, he's been heavily involved in the build-up, but not
yeah,
playing the final ball. But yeah, a lot of the goals are coming through him. And
yeah.
some people debated as to whether him and Bruno could actually work together, but it is working at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I have to. Yeah, I had a lot of doubts about Bruno Fernandes, and we got a question now if the armband has helped him. Because I don't know about you, Carl, but I've noticed that he's not throwing his arms up in the air as much. He's not throwing as many tantrums.
Yeah, well, he's still talking to the referee as much as he can, but
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, he's not flailing about as much, which is good. Which is good to see. Decision making wise, I think it's still a learning process for him in this system. But yeah, I'm a bit more confident than I was before that he can sort himself out and get something out of it.
do you think he'll be given the captaincy long term then?
Oh, that's another question entirely. I think we'll have to reassess that at the end of the season. I think there's still changes to be made in the squad, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and there seems to be all of a sudden there seems to be a couple of candidates now. During the summer,
Mm.
it felt like there was none, and
Yeah,
now with Varane playing regularly, I wouldn't mind him becoming club captain at some point in the
yeah,
future.
yeah. I mean, again, with him, it just depends, isn't it? So if he can have a fully fit Varane, if we can have a fully fit Varane, then yeah, that makes sense. Martinez as well. He's got that hunger and bite about him. At the end of the season, who knows? Yeah, it's looking up.
Martinez was certainly playing on the edge today, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned beforehand because I had flashbacks to fiery Argentines when they turn up at Old Trafford. You'll remember Mascherano getting sent off when Liverpool came, and he's a similar sort of player. He's got that same fire and desire, and it's important in these kind of occasions to channel it in the right way because otherwise it's very easy to see red. I thought if anyone would see a card, it would probably be him for us, and for Arsenal, probably Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, he was very close to giving away a penalty. I think he
Mm,
pulled his foot out at the last second.
yeah,
That was a relief. Yeah, I mean, there was a very tasty challenge on Bruno from one of Arsenal's midfielders.
yeah,
Maybe he's a bit lucky to get away with that. And then we've seen a real moment of frustration from Bakary Saka with the foul on Malacia.
hmm
um, Arsenal really a 2-1. They never really covered a 2-1, didn't they? Whenever
yeah,
Ten Hag made the substitutions, they found it harder to get behind us.
mm.
And then the third goal went in and just killed off the game, really. They never really looked like scoring
Yeah,
after that,
pretty
did they?
much. We kind of solidified it in the second half. In the first half, I actually thought they were better. Um,
They
yeah,
were.
yeah. So it was almost against the run of play that the goal came. So yeah, no, very good performance. There's a lot of positives that we can take away from it. I think it was a very good lesson learned for Malasia. I think we need to curb our expectations, and today it showed because he is young. He is new to the league. He's only had two full seasons under his belt where he was a first team player, and that was at Feyenoord. So we need to tailor our expectations. I thought he struggled in parts today, but it's to be expected.
Yeah, he's a young player in a new league, and he's stepping up in class
Yeah,
in terms of the opposition he's playing against, and
yeah, it's a
he is going to
huge
make
jump,
mistakes.
huge jump. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
But certainly there's no reason to bring back Luke Shaw at the moment now.
No, no.
Definitely not. So yeah, McTominay did a good defensive job today.
Mm,
What he's really good at is like defending from set pieces and corners, isn't he? He wins a lot of headers.
mm,
And what really lets him down though, and there was times in the second half where I was getting frustrated, where his first touch was letting him down, and his second touch is a tackle, and then he gets a booking. That's where he lets him down. But he works really hard. He's good at defending in the air. And he can score goals from the air as well at the other end of the pitch. But yeah, his ability on the ball is what really lets him down as a player. But Ten
yeah.
Hag seems to be really loving him at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He seems to have found a role for him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to stay for because at some point I would assume that Casemiro starts.
Yeah, at some point McTominay's going to be relegated to the Europa League team, isn't he? We're just
Yeah,
waiting on it.
yeah. But listen, he can put a shift in from time to time, and I'm quite happy for him to do that. It's fine.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting him to play so many games. But then, like we said
Yeah,
earlier, who cares if we're winning games?
yeah,
Ten Hag's
exactly.
getting what
That's
he
what it
wanted
will
at the
come.
moment.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that it is going to be Casemiro. It's just that he's easing him into it. Um, and Ten Hag, we just have to trust him with what he's doing.
Yeah, the way to gain trust with supporters is to keep winning games, and that's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. And like, look at the Rashford thing. We all raised our eyebrows, but it seems to be working. He seems to be getting a tune out of him, and that's all we can ask for at the end of the day.
Definitely. What is the reason? But like, I mean, Rashford but like, if you compare Rashford last season to this season, it's like night and day.
Mm.
Is it? Does the manager have to take credit for that, or is Rashford just more focused now than he was last season?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, I think he understands the criticism that was coming our way. It got really toxic last year, especially his relationship with the fan base. You'll remember, when he got heckled and he responded at the end of the game. I think it was after Atletico Madrid. Yeah, so that all turned into a big thing. He knows he's been terrible, um, statistics wise, everything wise. Last year was just one to completely forget, which is probably why we saw so much promo and of him in the gym and stuff during the summer. And yeah, no doubt the coach coming in has given him a new lease of life, especially when it's someone who's trusted him to start as the main man. I don't think any too many others would have put him in that situation.
Yeah, certainly working so far. He's
Yeah,
three goals for the season, all coming against big teams as well.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
are
I
Arsenal.
mean, even today, like on paper, I was questioning whether he should be the one that starts because obviously Ronaldo would offer more in terms of occupying their defenders.
Yeah, it was very unselfish for
Mm.
Ericsson to square it to Rashford there in that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
I would have loved Ericsson to get his first United goal. I think we're all waiting on that one, aren't we?
yeah. Oh, he was very unlucky as well. The volley that he hit. If only it had been on target.
That was the cross from Dallo, wasn't it?
Yeah,
After
yeah. That was
Anthony's back
across
heel.
from Dallo. Yeah, that whole move was fantastic. It deserved the goal. That.
Yeah, that would have been an unbelievable goal.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
What I'm really looking forward to this season, and at some point it is going to happen. Ericsson is going to swing a free kick into the top corner from 25 yards out. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, we haven't really had many free kick specialists in recent seasons. I don't think. I mean, David Beckham was unbelievable. I know Ronaldo when he in his first spell scored a lot of free kicks, but like in the post Fergie era, there hasn't been many great free kick takers, has it? And one
Yeah. Well,
Mata,
one
obviously.
matter.
Yeah.
Matter was fantastic at them. It's just that unfortunately
Mhm.
for him, I just get really upset when we when we mention one matter because I really feel like he was one of those players that was just underappreciated, and we just didn't utilize him to the best of his abilities and wasted his best years.
Yeah, and hardly played as a number 10 for United. Always seemed to play on the right for some reason. But that's because we're stacked with number 10s, and he just didn't seem to be favoured, no matter who it was, Van Gaal or Mourinho or Solskjaer. But yeah, he's a fantastic guy, and he'll be welcome back at the club anytime. I'm sure the club will make him an ambassador when he retires. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Hmm.
So Jadon Sancho was probably the one disappointment today. He had a bit of a quiet game, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Um,
was. Yeah, that's what I say. I say if Martial's fully fit, I think Jaden will be the one to drop out. Um, yeah, I think maybe it's because we know how talented he is, which is why it's so frustrating. And we have seen at the very least that he has got qualities, which he's demonstrated in the last couple of games. It's just about getting the best out of him. He's never going to beat a man for pace. Got me thinking today, actually, if we do utilize a false nine in future, like we did earlier in the season with Ericsson, perhaps Sancho and Rashford could swap over positions. What would you think?
yeah, I think that could be an option. Obviously, my first preference is always to have a striker
Yeah,
at number
absolutely,
nine.
absolutely. Same here. But it's one of those that I was exploring because I think because he's technically very gifted. His footballing IQ is high, but he's just not going to outpace anyone. So how do you get the best out of him? That could be one way.
Yeah, he
Playing
needs
more
to.
centrally.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it happening in the future.
Mm.
Maybe not on a regular basis, but
Yeah,
in
yeah,
needs must.
yeah.
Um,
When I see like players like Eze at Crystal Palace as well, playing as an attacking midfielder on the top of that diamond, perhaps a position like that even.
yeah, no, that's a real possibility. Yeah. So it's starting to look a lot rosier now. I mean, we were bottom of the league a few weeks ago, and now we're in fifth. And I'm starting to feel positive about our prospects of finishing in the top four. Or am I getting carried away, or do you think I'm right to feel that way?
uh, on on the back of results like this, it's difficult, isn't it, not to get carried away? I'm sure there's going to be one or two streams today where fans are going to jump out the window, and some are going to be even, you know, mentioning title charges and things of that nature. I am firmly sticking to what I said at the start of the season, which is what I really want to see is just an establishment of a style and a system, and we're seeing that, and we just want to see improvements and better football overall. And yeah, all those boxes currently are being ticked. That's all I can say.
Yeah, suddenly we're only 3 points off the top of the table. This is, yeah, quite incredible, given where
Yeah,
we were after the Brentford debacle.
listen, I remember me and you sitting here looking through the fixture list, wondering where 3 points are coming from.
Yeah,
It was all looking so gloomy.
it's
And
amazing how quickly things can change.
yeah, what a turnaround. And then, well, we've got Crystal Palace now next. That's going to be a bit of a tricky one. And I think it's Man City after that.
Yeah, Crystal Palace away is always
Yeah,
a potential slip up.
yeah.
You could, but we have a decent record there, I think, in recent seasons.
Mm.
Palace do have a good record at Old Trafford. That's been the problem.
Yeah, was it? No, it was year before last, wasn't it? They beat us opening day. Yeah, it was Donny's debut. It came to Old Trafford. They beat us 3-1, I think.
Yeah, I think he scored in that game, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, Donny scored.
Injured at the moment, apparently. That's why he was not in
Mm.
the squad today. And Garnacho was omitted, and two keepers on the bench. That there,
I will never
uh,
understand why we start new keepers. Yeah, two keepers. It's just unnecessary.
yeah, it's bizarre. Oh, yeah, after Palace, it is Leeds at
Oh,
home.
it's Leeds. Okay.
Yeah,
And then it's City?
yeah. I think there's an
Okay.
international break, and then
Right.
City at the
Yes.
start of
Yes.
October.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
Mhm.
yeah. And Leeds are slowly doing all right. I think did they lose? I think they
I
got
think
battered 5-2, I think. Did they lose 5-2? Or am I thinking something? No, I'm thinking of Leicester. Oh,
yeah, Leicester lost 5-2 to
yeah.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Uh, Leeds. What happened?
I think
Leeds.
Leeds did lose, didn't they? Who did they play?
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I think they did lose.
Um,
Let's try and find it here.
yeah.
Yes, they lost. Yes, they did lose 5-2 to
Oh,
Brentford.
okay.
That's
Oh,
right. Yeah.
yeah. They'll have a little reminder of their previous management where it was all gung ho. But yeah, overall, I think March has done a decent job there. So yeah, I'm not going to take them lightly either. And obviously, that's a derby game as well. So anything can happen. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always confident beating Leeds at Old Trafford. It was
Mm.
just the away fixture that would concern me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so going that City game at the start of October could be a top of the table clash. That Manchester Derby.
Potent- potentially. And I'll tell you what, I was really annoyed at the goal that we conceded as well. I thought it was needless. Just yeah, they could have done better with dealing with that one.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of mistakes in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I'll tell you what, in the little cameo that Maguire made, I mean, it kind of highlighted why he's not playing. The one foul that he did give away was in a very dangerous position, and we were lucky not to get punished there.
yeah. Do you know what led to that Maguire yellow card?
It,
A
it,
very poor pass from Casemiro of all people.
yeah, because Casemiro is to blame as well. Both of them could have done better there.
Yeah, I hope Martin is not injured long term because we do
Yeah,
not want to see Maguire come back into the team.
no, because yeah, just the manner in which he gave away that foul, it just brought all those memories back. It's just like, oh no, you're so slow. You're not gonna catch anyone. You're just gonna get in the way.
I was watching the game with I would say about 20 United fans, and there's a few groans when
Yeah.
Maguire came onto the
Yeah.
pitch.
For me, it was the foul. It was the foul, and I was just like, "Oh, here you go. Oh, here we go again." This is yeah, it's typical, isn't it? It's just yeah, it just doesn't fit the style or system that we're trying to implement. Um, yeah, I mean, I joked last week that we should have, you should have stayed in Leicester on Thursday. Genuinely, though, I do think that would be a good move for all parties. Um, Perhaps one to consider in January.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Yeah, I think that would be the best thing for his club career and his England career. Could he play
Yeah, yeah,
regularly
that's the
somewhere else?
thing. I mean, yeah, because I mean, Johnny Evans is 35. I think Soyuncu might be on the way out. He's talking to Galatasaray, I believe. They were playing a defensive midfielder at CM when we played them. So yeah, it makes sense they could do with one.
But Leicester have tightened the purse strings, and they're not spending any
Mm.
money, and Rodgers is
I
getting
don't know
cheesed
why
off.
though, because they're sat on that Forfana money now.
I know it's bizarre. I think Rodgers will be gone fairly soon, but I think the fact that he's shifting the blame onto the board is him preparing for his next job. So I think that'll be all over shortly. So it, I made this argument on Twitter: is Ten Hag the signing of the summer so far? You think?
I think I think it's too early to say. It's too early to say. I mean, for us as fans, yeah, he probably is the most exciting part because we've been devout of good football and any kind of structure for so long that it's nice to see the beginnings of such.
Yeah, it feels like we're building something. Under Ollie, even when we're on a winning run, we never
Yeah,
felt that he was going to succeed long term or that he was a brilliant coach. But you get the
no,
feeling from Ten Hag that he's got something about him and he knows what
yeah,
he's doing.
yeah. The way he's taking notes, the way he's adjusting things from game to game, yeah, there's progress being made. I just hope that he gets the support that he requires. Like even this summer, I don't think that we supported him in the way he should have been. Um, but I hope we get there eventually.
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen would be for him to do really well this season, maybe finish second and win a trophy, and then they spend absolutely nothing next summer. That would be a disaster,
Yeah,
really.
that would be absolutely disastrous. Like at the moment, yeah, I know it was messy how we got there, and the money spent was ridiculous as well. But objectively, just looking at the caliber of player that come in, I was quite happy with the window overall. I just wish that it was done in a more concise way, where these players could have came in and had a preseason tour to gel together as a team.
Yeah, what's been brilliant is that all the new signings have started off really well. Maybe apart from Casemiro, but he hasn't started a game yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the That's the thing. Every single one that's come in has improved us. Um, you know, so that's the positive.
But we want to see them continue this,
Yeah.
for seasons to come. Because 3 years ago, when Ollie brought in Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, and Daniel James, they all started off really well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and one of them ended up being sold, and the other two are now dead wood.
Yeah.
So the
And then
crucial thing is,
if we look at Jose's reign as well, he was supported in the first window where he got Zlatan and Pogba, and we had the initial success. And then that second window, he got Fred, Dallo, and Lee Grant.
I know.
you know, So that is the worry. That's where we have to watch out, especially because they have overspent this season, this summer. So we'll have to see if the funds are going to be the same next year or if it's not. But yeah, this is a solid foundation to build on. But this only makes sense if you build on it.
Yeah, at United under the Glazer ownership, managers become victims of their own success because
Mm.
they tighten the purse strings once you finish second in the league, like you just mentioned there. So hopefully that
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
yeah,
Um,
that's the thing. There is a weird pattern as well of us spending more when we're out of the Champions League, and then it's sort of tailing off once we qualify, which is ridiculous because
yeah, and they've done it again.
yeah,
They splurged 200 million because we're in the Europa League.
yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
if we get CL, that'll be the real challenge. That'll be when we see what happens.
Yeah, so just come on to
Ah.
the player ratings now. Then, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this bit every week now. It seems. So David De Gea, I'll go with the 6. Dallo gets an 8 for me. Varane a 7. Martinez a 7. Malacia maybe a 6. Anthony a 7. McTominay a 7. Christian Eriksen an 8. Sancho probably a 5. Bruno a
Mm.
7. Marcus Rashford a 9. And Ten Hag gets a 10 out of 10 for me. So, what's your thoughts? Do you
Yeah,
agree?
Yeah. I mean, I think I tend to be a tough marker, so all of those grades just one below for me. But I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
but I mean, essentially the same thing. It's the same players that I would highlight. Dalot has done very well. Ericsson and Rashford were the two standouts for me. And yeah, for me, the disappointment was Sancho. So yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. I would give on Ronaldo and Fred played a good bit of the
Mm.
game. The Casemiro and Maguire only played 10 minutes, but yeah. So Ronaldo, I would probably give him a six. He did well, and Fred a six as well for his appearance.
Yeah, for those guys, yeah, somewhere between like a 5.5 and a 6. So yeah, it weren't too much there. But yeah. If only that final ball from Fred was better, that would have been nice.
Yeah, uh, Fred is just almost better without the ball than he is with the
Mm.
ball at times. You know.
And there was one chance that he had actually, but then Ramsdale made himself very big.
He did, yeah. Wasn't there? Didn't Ramsdale prevent Bruno from chipping it over him as well at one
Yeah,
point?
yeah, yeah.
Got a big
He
hand
he
to
he
it.
made up for one of his calamities, which which led to one of our goals.
Yeah. So yeah, Arsenal again they come to Old Trafford and they fold like a deck chair. I mean,
Yeah,
they've had one win at Old Trafford, I think, in the Premier League since 2006. That is an incredible record, isn't it?
that's a
That's
fantastic record. Long may it
for us,
continue.
yeah.
It's a surprising record when you think about it.
There's probably uh, it's probably one of the worst records at Old Trafford in the
Yeah,
last 16 years, isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah. And there's probably teams like further down the table who have better records at Old Trafford, like Palace, for example, and
Yeah,
Newcastle.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to think that we've lost it against teams like Sheffield United at Old Trafford in more recent times.
yeah. Oh,
uh,
we just coming off a big win. Was it the 9-0 or something, and then we lost to Sheffield United in the next game. That was a
mm.
huge come down, wasn't it?
And
Ridiculous.
yeah, because they were bottom of the league at that time as well, and that really it was a big blow to our title hopes.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're even having that conversation, about
Yeah,
winning the title.
yeah,
Could be having that
yeah,
conversation again pretty soon. I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah.
away. No, I'm only
But
joking. I'm only joking.
I'll tell you what, it's a crazy season, Carl, especially this one because we've not had one like it with the fixture list and how it's all fallen, and how we're going to come back after the World Cup as well. Like because players are, it takes them a little while to recover after a World Cup. So yeah, the one thing that does concern me is obviously Haaland
Mhm.
doesn't have a World Cup, so he's just going to be chilling. The last
Yep.
thing that guy needs is time to himself for some R&R.
Yeah, we've said already that it's a really open season so far in
Yeah.
terms of the top four in the title race. But at some point, you expect Man City to pull away. Like that's what happens most seasons, really. And
Yeah, yeah. When you look at their squad depth and stuff as well, like they're one of the teams that really benefits from this new rule, five substitution. And
yeah,
we've seen it. The way they put away, the way Haaland scored a hat trick against Forest last week. I mean, and that was in the first half. So at half time, you're smooth sailing. You can make all the changes you like. You can rest up all your key players.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you probably hear a lot of pundits saying it suits the big teams, and they're
Mm,
probably right about that because we have
yeah.
stronger benches than the other
Oh,
side.
absolutely. Yeah. The lower down you go, there's a big drop off from the quality of their first 11 to the bench.
So, what did you think of the VAR decision to rule out Martinelli's goal? I think it was a foul. That's my opinion.
I did think it was a foul. But yeah, it's a big weekend for VAR decisions, isn't it? There were some atrocious ones yesterday.
Oh, particularly the one the decision to rule out the West Ham equaliser.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
mad to me. I was shocked at the Aston Villa one as well. Actually, the Villa one, Coutinho's goal, I thought
Coutinho,
should have been
yeah,
given. That was a brilliant finish as well.
yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Not a
it's
good
mad.
weekend for the referees.
No, not at all. And it's surprising because I'll tell you what, it's only here that we seem to be having these problems. Around Europe, they don't seem to be having as many problems with VAR. I think we just need to train our refs and staff a lot better.
Yeah, because in the Champions League. you don't seem to get many decisions wrong. Where
No, no.
in Premier League, it's every single weekend there's controversial decisions.
Yeah, we just
This
need to start holding the officials to a much higher standard. Is what we need to do.
Yeah, there's no way any of those officials would go to the World Cup, in my
No.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare for VAR this weekend, particularly yesterday.
Hmm.
Thankfully, there was nothing too controversial today. I know some Arsenal fans will moan about that decision, but yeah,
Yeah,
if it
but
was
I
the other
mean,
way,
ultimately, I don't know how much they can complain. I don't think it really would have changed a lot.
no, and it was the other way around, they'd want the foul given. Yeah, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so we're about to begin our Europa League campaign, and probably Real Sociedad is probably the most difficult tie that we'll have.
Yeah.
Um, how much rotation do you expect to see there then?
Uh, do you know, I would like to see a full rotation. This is where I want to see our backup back four. I want to see Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka. Um, yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for them where it's not a game because I'll tell you what, that is the hardest game in the group on paper. So it's one of those where you want your backup players to go out and show you what they've got, and I think it's the perfect opportunity if that makes sense.
I My prediction is that he'll make 5 changes, not 11.
Mm.
Um, I think I think Martin Dubravka will start, as will
Yeah.
Casemiro and Fred and Maguire
Yes.
and
Yes.
Ronaldo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. That's realistic. I mean, yeah, it's too much to expect everyone to just change out, but yeah, that's a realistic expectation. That's pretty much what I expect as well. I'll be very shocked if Ronnie doesn't start.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be shocked if he got a hat trick against Real Sociedad, would you?
Yeah.
Just
Oh, listen, I can tell in the little cameos he's been making. You can tell he's hungry for it.
yeah. I think the more people say that he's past it and he's
Mm,
done and he's not a force anymore, the more
yeah.
determined he is to prove people
Yeah, and
wrong.
I'll tell you what, it'll be bugging, it'll be eating away at him the fact that statistically, like he's made like 4 appearances and he's got 0 goals. Like because people will take context out of it and take away the minutes played and just look at it as appearances.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anything that happened today that I've missed that I've forgotten to mention? Um, just one wee thing. I noticed that anytime we win, Ten Hag loves to join the Super Sunday panel or the M&F panel on the side of the pitch. uh, it's very modern, that isn't it? You never could imagine Fergie, joining the pundits on the side of the pitch to discuss the game.
No, yeah, that is very much a modern era thing. I don't know how I feel about that actually. I mean, on days like this, I guess it's really nice for the fans to be able to see that. But yeah, usually I prefer my managers to just keep to themselves.
Yeah, and he is quite a stern character, but he's trying to be personable as well. It
Yeah,
seems,
yeah.
and yeah.
I mean, his debut was hilarious when he accidentally swore.
Oh yes, that was fantastic.
That was brilliant because you could tell like he had no clue at all. Like he just got caught up in the emotions and how he would normally speak.
Yeah, but and the Dave Jones apologized. It was like half 10 at night. Like, no, get a grip.
And
Um,
also, I think it's that they're just very straight to the point, aren't they? The Dutch. There's no messing about.
yeah, you're right about that. Straight talkers.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, we've got a huge South American influence now in our team. It seems, with the Brazilians
yeah,
and the
yeah,
Argentinians, and they're very young, hungry players who are desperate to succeed and have a lot of passion. Particularly Martinez and Antony. I mean, they just ooze passion, don't they? Banging chests and kissing the badge and going crazy. Yeah, I just love those types of players. They're just winners, like, aren't they? And they just
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it helps. There's a few of them in the squad. They all speak the same language and that as well, and they can connect. Exciting times ahead, especially with the World Cup as well, because that always throws out one or two hidden gems and puts them in the spotlight. And who knows? Now they might look at us and think, "Oh, this is the place where we want to come." So having these players already here, it could potentially give us an advantage.
yeah, and young Frankie De Jong sitting on Barcelona's bench while we were beating Arsenal 3-1. Isn't that ironic?
Well, he's only got himself to blame, isn't he, Frankie?
Yeah, look what you could have won, Frankie. Yeah, so it's been an absolute privilege to do this show. If everyone could please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment your thoughts down below. And it's glory, glory, Man United all the way. We're going to finish second at least this season, I believe.
Well, hey, let's hope. Let's
Yeah.
hope. As far as
Yeah.
Sundays goes, it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're a Man United fan and you live in London and you're
Uh-huh.
surrounded by Arsenal fans.
We're surrounded by Arsenal. Yeah, this is brilliant. They've all gone quiet this evening.
But like the Liverpool fans a couple of weeks ago, they all went very quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
They've had a really strange start to the season as well. Again, they dropped. They were, yeah. There was Everton were denied a very tight offside decision.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's all gone a bit Pete
They're-
Tong for them. I just think it's gone a bit stale. I think a few of those players, the core has been together for many years now, and sometimes that can work against you. I think a
yeah,
few of them might be very assured in their positions, and they need to be tested.
and they got rid of their arguably their best player, and the player who
Yeah.
comes up with big goals in big games, and he's not there anymore. So that's a big lot. And then Fabinho isn't playing well anymore. Thiago was always injured,
Yes.
and the midfield
Yeah.
suddenly looks very average.
Yeah. The way Fabinho's dropped off has been kind of crazy. He was one of the key players, someone I was a big fan of actually, but over the last 6 months or so, it's just not happened for him. Not that I'm complaining.
You almost sounded disappointed there.
Like you never want to see good players like go through horrible stuff, but when they're representing that crest, uh,
Different story. Yeah.
different story.
Yeah, so things really looking on the up. Yeah, we couldn't be in a more different place than we were after the Brentford disaster.
Exactly, and I think that is the reason why that I'm still not getting too carried away, because we've been on both sides of it now. We know how quickly things can turn around one way or the other, so just have to keep strong, keep going, and yeah, just hope for the best.
Yeah, I like what Ten Hag said after the game, that he's pleased with the performance and the
Mm.
result, but we still got a lot of work to do, a lot of improving to do. So he's determined to keep the squad's feet firmly on the ground and not get carried away with himself. So he's saying the right things.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm pleased about that.
Yeah.
So, Rish, I'll wrap it up there for today. And I'm no doubt we'll have you on the podcast again soon at some point.
Yep. Yep. See you next time. Take care.
Okay, see you later.